Well, as the season gets started, it's time for another Track Talk. We're talking to Gary Thomas, announcer and PR director for Placerville Speedway, talking about all their dates and some of the new things that they're going to be doing in 2023. That's next. Hello, I'm Ben Dethridge, and I'm the host of Getting Up to Speed. We talk to sprint car drivers from the Pacific Coast, whether they race in Oregon, Washington, California. If they run it, we're going to talk about it. Also branch out a little bit, as well as drivers that perhaps are from here that race elsewhere, or some drivers that come in and try and take some money from the West Coast. In these episodes, we talk about past experience, past seasons, as well as upcoming races, as well as how's the season going. We hope you enjoy these episodes. Be sure to hit the like button and subscribe. It really helps us out. And stay tuned for more and more content. Now let's get into the interview. Well, race fans, here he is, one of the busiest guys in the Golden State of California, Gary Thomas, here to talk to about the 2023 schedule for Placerville Speedway. Gary, great to have you on here, press releaser representative and announcer at Little Knoxville on the Hill.
Well, thank you for having me, Ben. I really enjoy the podcast you've been doing lately. It kind of makes the off-season go a little faster, and, racing season is essentially here this weekend in California.
Yeah, no doubt. We've got by the time this comes out, the Sherm and Lori Toller race will be completed, fingers crossed. And
yeah, hopefully.
Placerville opening on March 18th, kind of getting right to it.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. Once the season ends, it seems like, the next season is so far off. But, man, the off-season's gone by fast. And here, 2 or 3 weeks, we're going to get racing at Placerville. So we're looking forward to a good season. And hopefully this weather straightens itself out by the time we get there.
Yeah, no doubt. Lots of snow in the Sierra Nevadas, lots of rain that you guys have sustained in the Sac area, Northern California, all of California, during the winter months, and high winds too.
Yeah, that's it. Over the New Year's break, we actually lost power down here at our house for 4 nights. So, that's something I've never experienced in California. I could see, back east where they have some of those real torrential storms having that issue. But yeah, it was 4 nights for us, and man, it was. I don't want to experience that again. We had some of the highest winds I think on record in Sacramento, so it's been pretty wild.
Yeah. Well, as far as the 2023 season schedule goes for Placerville, got to be excited for that. Lots of racing. March 18th is the opener, and you guys will be having some form of sprint cars racing there till September 16th and close things out in November.
Yeah, it's another great schedule that Scott Russell and Cammy Arnold have put together. For the most part, every year it's pretty similar. Real heavy dose of Wing 360 sprint cars. There's some wingless spec sprints that kind of dot the schedule from March till September, and you have other classes as well. But we're real proud of our weekly 360 sprint car class. Some of the best racing you'll see anywhere in California and on the West Coast.
Well, what's cool is obviously March 18th, first race for you guys for, Wing 360 action. And then the Sprint Car Challenge Tour, they open things up on March 25th for the Spring Fever Frenzy to open up the 2023 campaign for that touring series.
Yeah, opening night's always a great time. We always seem to have a great crowd on hand, and that's, as you said, it's March 18th. And then the first Sprint Car Challenge Tour race is always big. It's always got a packed grandstands and a full pit area of sprint cars. So it's really a great way to open up the season with 2 big events right off the bat.
And then April 15th, kind of a special event, one that's been around for some time, the tribute to Al Hines. That's always a popular show for folks to go see.
Yeah, it's amazing. This year is already the 20th annual tribute to Al Hines. It seems like it was just yesterday that Placerville Speedway started holding that event for Al Hines, a longtime promoter at the track who we lost 20 years ago. It's one of the long-standing events on the schedule. I think it might even be the longest standing event that started at Placerville and is still held at the track.
May 20th, just going, by, the start of the season towards the end of the season. John Pageant, Kids Bike Night, May 20th. That is in tribute of another guy that had a big impact at Placerville Speedway.
Yeah, that Kids Bike Night is always huge at Placerville, man. It's amazing how many kids come out with their families. And last year, when we lost John Pageant, Scott and Cammy decided to rename the event the John Pageant Kids Bike Night. And that's in part due to John Pageant actually creating Bike Night. back at West Capitol many moons ago, and then he brought it to Silver Dollar Speedway and Placerville Speedway when he assumed the promotership of both those venues, and it's something that we still hold, till this day, and it's a great thing that John started. He was always big with the kids, so we're honored to be able to remember him on Kids Bike Night for years to come.
In June 2nd and 3rd, doubleheader weekend, Dave Bradway Jr. Memorial. Friday the 2nd will be Sprint Car Challenge Tour, and then Saturday night will be the NARC 410 Sprint Series on the 3rd. Really cool that that's kind of split up so guys that are, may want to do both don't have to make the decision, well, I want to do the 360 or, I'm kind of in it for the 410 deal.
Yeah, I'm really excited that Scott was able to get those shows, get it as a 2-night show. The other issue is once we get to June, our weather warms up so much in California that when you have to qualify all those cars on one night and you run 2 main events, it's so hard to put a track together. And Scott's mentioned it the last couple of years. Normally one main event is really good, and normally, the second one is usually the track's gone away. So moving the Sprint Car Challenge Tour to Friday and then having just NARC on Saturday, I think we have the dwarf cars both nights. That's going to be one of the biggest events of the year in Placerville, and I really hope we can get a lot of campers and out-of-town fans that come for both nights of racing at the Bradway this year.
Yeah, I know it's not the largest paying race on the West Coast or in California, but it is something so special that it's very meaningful for drivers that have won that race to have won it.
Yeah, something I always like to point out about the Bradway is that it's not just one person that makes it happen. The Tuccelli family took over. Now Karen Bradway Tuccelli, Steve Tuccelli took over for Dave and Diane DeRica, who ran it for a long time. But it's not just one sponsor that puts the money up. It's race fans, it's crew members, it's drivers, fans. Everyone kind of comes together and puts their 2 cents into that event. And it's what makes the Bradway so special. Is there's a lot of people that take part in it.
Well, and after the Bradway, it's going to be fireworks, literally fireworks night on Independence Day, July 4th. That's just been a long-held tradition for racing to be held at Placerville.
Yeah, 4th of July, I think, is probably my favorite event of the year, just because everyone has a good time. It just seems to be, it emits positivity, and Placerville is always packed. Chico does it as well on the same night. Some people say, why do you guys race on the same night? Well, both communities really get into it, and both places are packed, and the racing is fun, and you cap the night with a huge fireworks show. So that's always one of the ones that I look forward to.
July 29th, big 360 sprint car race, the Mark Forney Classic. That is started to become, one of the desired ones for a crown jewel, so to speak, in the Golden State.
Yeah, and we talked about the tribute to Al Hines in his 20th year, and now the Mark Forney Classic in his 18th year already. Mark and the Forney family, such a great history in the area, around the Placerville area. Did a lot of great things for the fairgrounds, the community, the racetrack. And it's one that there's still a lot of people involved that, remember Mark and are friends with Mark. So that's always a special night. And pretty much every year it's been right around $5,000 to win. So that's our richest weekly championship point race of the season.
And something that's really cool, it'll be in August, late August, kind of when things are kind of in that lull, the Knoxville hangover and guys getting ready for Gold Cup. But August 26th, Legends Night at Placerville. It's also going to be the finale for the Western Sprint Tour's Southern Speed Week that they're going to be having. They have 2 of them this year. So the WST going to be making their Placerville debut.
Yeah, I mean, that's a night that we could have 100 cars in the pit area. Just judging by last year, we have, a ton of Wing 360 sprint cars. Now you're probably going to add in a few more cars from up north. We got dwarf cars, pure stocks, late models, and then we have the old-time cars that come out and, put on a couple of exhibitions during the night. Rick Hurst does a great job organizing all the old-timers coming out, and it's kind of like just a night to relive the past of Placerville Speedway. It's, as you said, the finale of the Western Sprint Tour Northwest Speed Week, and it's also the finale of our championship point season as well. So that's going to be a night you don't want to miss.
Yeah, no doubt. And then, back to a 2-day 360 sprint car race, something that has been around for a couple years, but it's gaining momentum as a staple special event, the NorCal Posse Shootout, September 2nd and September 3rd. Tell us about that deal.
Yeah, the second year it's been on Labor Day. The dates kind of bounced around ever since it started, but it's one that, I'd really love to see become one of the major events on the West Coast when it comes to multi-day shows. Being on Labor Day, we think it's a great lead into the Gold Cup the following week. in Chico. And unfortunately, we don't have Calistoga anymore. Hopefully, we'll get that back. But that was always the Labor Day tradition, was to go to Calistoga and then caravan over to Chico. So we're hoping to see even more fan support come out this year for the NorCal Posse Shootout. And once that's done, then everyone heads over to Chico.
Yeah. Yeah, and then before you know it, it's Outlaw time, the 49er Gold Rush Classic on September 16th. One of only 2 410 races at Placerville this year, but no doubt it is a must-see attraction.
And it's funny you mentioned the Outlaws. I got a text from a buddy of mine that had some tickets left over from, it was either last year or the year before, and he said, they didn't run that race yet. And I said, no, we actually haven't had it since 2019 with the Outlaws, 1 year due to COVID, and then the last couple of years due to the fires in the area. So, man, this year we're going to cross our fingers that the fires don't pop up. That's been just devastating for the community the last couple of years, and we want to see the Outlaws at Placerville. So let's hope that everything stays even keel throughout that time of the year, and we can get the greatest show on dirt back at Little Knoxville.
And I know that it's not a wing sprint car race. It's not even a sprint car race, but it is definitely a classic in the building. The Hangtown 100 returns November 16th through the 18th. USAC National Midget Series in town. It's garnered a lot of support, a lot of attention, and a lot of names show up for that deal.
Yeah, I mean, that's another one that's just the last few years has been unbelievable. I know it gets cold that time of the year, so the grandstand support hasn't quite been what I'd like to see, what everyone at the track would like to see. So we're hoping that people have watched it the last few years on the live stream and saw the great racing, and maybe they'll come out and join us in the grandstand. That's 3 nights of USAC National Midget and Lightning Sprint racing. You can't get better than that. Placerville, perfect track for midgets and lightning sprints.
Yeah, and it's kind of cool because it's the march to, the Agajanian Turkey Night Grand Prix, gets that set up. Merced has some races thrown in there in the, the following week. It's kind of like a mini speed week, sort of.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much what it is. And then the Merced show the following week has been awesome. I mean, they run the Wing 360s as the support class. I guess you call it a support class, the companion class down there. And that's been a lot of fun the last couple of years. And just hope we see a little more support in the grandstands all around to keep that swing going, because it really is becoming one of the traditional things to end the season.
Yeah, and 2022, how would you rate how things went? I mean, Andy Forsberg won the track championship, and then of course the sprint, getting the double with the Sprint Car Challenge Tour championship. Overall, looked like the racing was pretty good of some of the stuff that I saw.
Yeah, I thought it was probably our best year since I became involved at Placerville in 2017. I mean, racing wise, crowd wise, for the most part, I felt we were up, and thought it was very successful throughout the year. And now we're just, like I said, we're onward and upward towards 2023, and hopefully it'll be even bigger and better.
And as far as 2023, any tidbits you can give us of any improvements, any changes, any tweaks that Placerville Speedway is hoping to accomplish or have done since the off season?
Yeah, I think it's going to be kind of business as usual. One of the great things that Cammie does here is she brings in a live band every week. So we always have live music before the races. We do a happy hour before that. A lot of the tracks are starting to kind of do as well down here. For a couple hours, you get, discounted Tours Light and Tours Banquet beer. I know he still has plans to maybe put some more seating over there on the back straightaway. Had some issues there on the back stretch with, getting the bigger stands in. So hopefully this year that'll happen. Especially for the Outlaws, we definitely would like to have more seating. So, that's a possibility this year. And on the racing side of things, it's going to be interesting with the championship, because Andy Forsberg has already stated that he's not planning to run all the point shows. So, I mean, that opens the door for really anybody. So we more than likely we'll have a new champion this year when it comes to the sprint car class.
Yeah, that'll be exciting to watch, most definitely. And as far as further news releases, race reports, press releases, even perhaps if somebody, maybe they're not in the area but they want to get some apparel, what's the best way to contact the racetrack or keep up to speed with you guys?
Yeah, the best way is to go to our website, placervillespeedway.com, and then we're also on Facebook and Twitter. You can search Placerville Speedway and you'll find us. We try to post as many updates as possible throughout the year, so there's no secrets at all. But check us out on the web.
Awesome. Well, looking forward to checking out, seeing how everything goes at Placerville this year, as well as other venues that'll be racing, and looking forward maybe check in with you a couple times this year too.
That'll be perfect, Ben. We hope we'll see you down there on the red clay, and we're really looking forward to it. And once again, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Awesome. No problem. Thank you. Hey guys, thanks for listening to this latest episode of Getting Up to Speed with me, Ben Deatherage. We hope you enjoyed this program. We hope also that you hit the subscribe button and the like button, as that really helps things out, spreads things out. Be sure and share as well on social media so that more people can listen to these great interviews and from these great drivers. Getting Up to Speed is a production of Highside Racing Promotions. For more information, you can check it all out on Facebook at Highside Promotions.